Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Martin with The Contoured Chemist. I'm excited about today's video, guys. It's summer, and if you don't know, in summertime, Seint likes to do the customer appreciation party. So a couple years back, it was a bunch of lip and cheeks were released. It was so much fun. This year, wait for it, the long-awaited Advent calendar shades from the holidays are finally getting released. Not all 25, but the most popular 12. There's all kinds of collections available with it, a new palette, and some specials going on at the end of July. So today I'm gonna talk about everything you need to know about the party, all the new shadows coming, and of course, show you how I would use them and categorize them, swatch them, all the things. So if you want to check it out, please keep watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for being here. All right, friends. Okay, I've got all my eyeshadow brushes cleaned, ready to go. And all of these beautiful colors. Can you guys guess which ones are getting released first? So the top 12 of the Advent calendar shades, the most popular, are getting released on July 20th at the Customer Appreciation Party. And this is all going down on Instagram at Saints and Angels. Instagram handle. So you're gonna have to check that out. I've got my full face on. We're gonna swatch them all. I'm gonna talk about every collection and we're gonna try some eyeshadow as well. I'm excited. All right, so let's get to it. First of all, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the party. So July 20th, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. If you've never checked out a Seint party, it's always on a separate account. So at Saints and Angels, long over on IG under that specific account, there will be posts and giveaways and games and things to follow along with. There'll be lives and a cake cutting and all the things. So the most exciting part, of course, is when they finally show off the eyeshadows that are coming and release them. And then of course, the deals that are going on that day. So if you weren't around last year they gave a free gift with purchase and they sold out really fast. It was like brush holders and things like that. This year the gifts are pretty awesome and I'm just hoping that they have enough for everybody. So the party promotion gift is if you spend $75, and that's in US currency, it's 105 Canadian, so you'll have to do the conversion, but 75 or more, at least minimum 75, you get the brush cleaning tile. So if you don't know what the brush cleaning tile is, I call it a shadow switcher by force of habit, but it's this awesome little tile. It's pretty much just like this special foam that you can switch eyeshadow colors in between. It works great for Demi and for eyeshadows, and it allows you to just switch colors without getting it all muddied up and without going and completely cleaning your brush and waiting for it to dry. Cool thing is that this one will just magnetize in your compact and you can keep it right along your eyeshadows. I love it. Seriously, like, it's a game changer if you've never had one. So you spend $75 on anything, you'll get that free in your order. All right, so if you spend $100 plus, so 75 minimum, next is 100 US, you get the coveted brush cleaner. If you've never tried our brush cleaner, it is even more so a game changer in my opinion, because I went from never cleaning my brushes because who wants to like not be able to put on their makeup because they have to clean their brushes and wait for their brushes to dry overnight, like sitting off the side of the sink. Soap and water cleans are no fun. This disinfects and it dries immediately. So I just cleaned all mine really quick before I started, but all you do is you spray it on paper towel, clean something. I'll show you, this is a dirty brush, okay? you just swirl your brush. And then you just keep repeating until it's clean. Move on to another section, spray a little bit more. And then you keep going and look, white again, smells like cotton candy, disinfects, conditions your bristles as well, keeps them looking good as new forever. So spend $100 and you get that in your gift. If you spend $150, you get both. So this alone, I think, is like $30. I want to say the brush cleaning towel is like 14 or 16. I'd have to look. So it's awesome. Love party perk. And I'm sure just because of what happened last year, I'm sure it's while supplies last. Hopefully they don't run out this year. They're also doing for the first time 2 customer contests. One is an eyeshadow contest. And the second one is giving your Seint testimonial. So you'll have to check that out over on the official page. On the 20th, new collections coming out. I wish I had. I will insert a picture of what the new compact's gonna look like, but it's called Malibu and it's beautiful. The good news is that it's coming in both 3D and Demi sizes in every size. With 3D, it's 4, 8, 12, 18, 27, which is the big kahuna triple decker. And then with Demi, it goes 6, 12, 18, 20, 49. So 49 is the one that holds all of them. That's like the artist size. It's awesome. There are 4 total collections and they all come with that Malibu palette, the brand new palette, but all of the palettes are also available individually. So let's go over the eyeshadows and I will show you what is in every collection. Of course, there's a collection with all 12 called Stargazing. So this comes with, it'll be the Malibu palette, all 12 eyeshadows, and the eyeshadow brush and the smudge brush, okay? All of that will come in the Stargazing. You'll get the entire collection, all the new goodies. The other 3 collections are different combinations, going with the theme, which is Stargazing. And they will come in a 4 palette, so holding 4 full-size 10. And there's Moon, Earth, and Sun. They all come with the eyeshadow brush and 4 colors. All right, so let's first go over the colors, shall we? Let me premise this. The Advent names will be different, and I know this is confusing. They haven't told us what all the names are. They're gonna be announcing all of that on that Tuesday, okay? So these are the names that were in the Advent, and these are the names I know. I think they announced a few of these at the artist's birthday party, and I think some of them might not be changing. Like I wanna say Pomegranate, the vote was to keep it at Pomegranate. So some of them that aren't quite so Christmassy, you know, like Tinsel, those are changing. Some of them, I want to say maybe Cider. No, I want to say that one maybe did change. Anyway, some of the names will be changing. So I won't know either until that day. So this is based on what their names are right now. I'm sorry if it's confusing once they actually come out, but I got to show you guys. Okay, so you guys, if you are new to my channel, you might not know, I have categorized every eyeshadow we carry in a certain way to kind of help you guys with build your eyeshadow looks. So the #1 shade are like the brightest shades in our collection, meant to kind of brighten and highlight. #2 is just a light shade. 3 is medium. 4 is that mid-tone matte I'm always talking about. 5s are the deep dark shades, those shades that will really add depth. You can use as liner all the things, okay? So I've categorized these as well. So I will tell you as I swatch each one, how I'd categorize them so that it can help you kind of put together a look. And then I'll throw in a graphic as well if you need to screenshot it in order to kind of save that once you get your colors. And this is just in the order of the graphic that they sent us so that I can keep them straight, all right? Because there was 25 shades, which is a lot. First up is Evergreen. This is a matte shade, okay? Matte shades will be, have an M next to them, okay? Anything that is a glitter, no, we have no glitter, so there won't be a G next to any of them. All the other ones have some kind of shimmer. Okay, as you can tell, this is definitely a number 5 shade, which is a deep dark shade. It's kind of, to me, is straight up deep olive green. That's exactly what it is. It is dark enough that it can totally create a shadow. It is more on the cool side. Green is tends to be kind of one of those neutral colors, but to me, this one favors more of a neutral, or favors more of a cool than a warm. Hopefully you guys can see that. All right, so that's number 1, Evergreen. Number 2 is Sugar Plum. Okay, now this one is obviously a shimmer, okay? This one I would consider probably a number 2 shade. It's probably not like your brightest option to highlight, but you totally could. It's more of the like a lavender shimmer. So I know I have customers all the time asking for lavender. And London has always been the closest thing, but London is more of like a darker lavender, and it's also not shimmery. This one is super shimmery. This would be really pretty layered over London, actually, to give you a really nice purple look, but it's got more of those silvery tones on the cool side though. Okay, Sugar Plum. Number 3, this is one of my faves because we didn't have anything like it. This is Pomegranate. I mean, look at that. Is that not beautiful? So I definitely consider this one a number 5 shade as well. It's a little bit too dark, for me to put in my crease on my skin tone, but it's definitely got that burgundy red. Oh, it is so pretty on you guys. So pigmented for a matte, it's gorgeous. Okay, and another one that I really like, Noel. So this one reminds me of a matte, maybe slightly deeper version of one of my very favorite shades, which is Kin. Okay, it's got that kind of same undertones, but this one is straight up matte, obviously. Also, number 5, a deep dark shade. See, this one's got a lot more red. This one's got a lot more purple. This one's cooler. This one's warmer. I would say out of all of the shades, 2 of these mid-tone mattes I've worn more than any other. You guys know I love my mid-tone mattes. This is one of them that goes with everything. If you like oak, maybe it's a little bit too dark. If you like basic but wish it was a little bit more dark, this one's right in between. This is Sleigh Ride. Okay, it's more of a, I don't know, it's very neutral to me, but it does have some purple in it. Can you tell? It's kind of got that grayish purple undertone. Oh, it's so pretty. Straight up matte. There's some really awesome mattes in this collection. You guys know I love my matte shades. So that is Sleigh Ride. So pretty. Hopefully comparing these next to each other, you guys can tell. Okay, Tinsel. Here's one that looks very different than it does. I gotta show you guys. So far we started Evergreen and we've gone here, okay? This is Tinsel. It looks straight up just like a nice pale gray. Another shade that's been requested so many times is a gray shade, and we never had any light to mid, besides silvers or like a really dark charcoal, we never had a medium gray in our Tinsel. Okay, so this shade, I don't know if you guys will be able to see on camera, it has a little bit of sparkle in it, but when you swatch it, It's like very minute. Can you see that? It's, here, let me swatch it farther. Okay, can you see how it's just got little bitty, like it's not a foiled looking shade like this. It's got a little bit of shimmer, but it almost has that matte base. So it's just barely gonna reflect any light. That one's a really good one for if you are scared of the super shimmery shades or these. See how much more texture that shows? This one doesn't. It pretty much lays like a matte, but it does reflect slightly. I hope that makes sense. I'd say that's kind of like right in the middle, but you can see how gray that is, how I would consider that one more of a 2 shade. It's definitely not in the medium category. I would say it's more towards the light. Could be medium, but I wouldn't necessarily put that in my crease, or wouldn't put that above my hood due to the fact that it's got a little bit more of that light reflection. Just not on me personally, since that is a problem area. Next is probably my most worn shimmer shade of all the Advent shades. This is Gold. So a lot of the shimmers we have in this collection were super shimmery, more of that like foiled look. This one's not. Now it is shimmery, but it's not as, I don't want to say chunky, but you know how sometimes you swatch a really foiled shade and it's almost looks that way? This one's more of that really fine shimmer, which is my preference. So this is Gold. Do you see how, I don't know if you'll really be able to tell. When I swatch the next one, I think you'll be able to see it more. So this is Gold. I love this shade. So to me, this is more of like a champagne gold, which I don't feel like we've really had. We have a very yellow gold with Gold Digger. We have very orange gold with Ginger. We have a very, very yellow with Blondie, but this champagne shimmer, it's like a darker version of Sabrina. I consider this one a number 2 as well. It's kind of in that light to medium, and it is so pretty. This one looks good layered on everything, kind of popped just in the center of the lid. Oh, love that shade. All right, so the next one is by far the most highlighting of the bunch. I would consider this a 1 for sure. This is Frankincense. Okay, I'm gonna show you in the 10, hopefully you can kind of see how when I swatch that, do you see how much more chunky? Don't know how else to describe it. How much more like shimmery that is. Like, maybe you can see it when I swatch. I don't know. I don't know if you guys can see. I promise, if you see how it's kind of the way, it's just not as finely milled shimmer particles. It is, oh, I wish you could zoom in and really see how the difference in texture between the two. So I will say, if you have more mature skin like me, you're gonna have to be careful with this shade. You see how it kind of just has more like bigger particles in it? This shade is really easily, it can fall out more. So if you are putting it on your inner corner here, you really got to be careful so it doesn't fall down here and increase the look of texture greatly under your eyes. For me, I really have to watch out for that and concentrate that color and make sure it's not going anywhere. So I'll show you guys when I get to that point of the tutorial, but it is very similar to Glass Slipper, I would say. It is a cross between Unicorn and Glass Slipper. So if you compare, it's kind of right in the middle. It's not quite as gray. It's got a little bit more cream than white. Not quite as stark white as Unicorn, if that made sense. Sometimes, I swear, me trying to describe these colors, hopefully they help. is another matte. This one is Chestnut. So this is what it looks like. Okay, this is a beautiful light to medium matte. If you like Pup or Stay Golden or Valencia, and maybe just they're not all like the right tone, this one's beautiful. To me, it's like the perfect shade. See how it almost blends in with my arm for me to blend out colors or for me to get a nice nude look on the lid. It's a little bit different it's a different tone than Pup. But to me, it's very similar in kind of that lightness, right? So this is Pup. This is Stay Golden. Golden is much more gold. This color is really, I think, gonna be really wearable on most skin tones. A little bit warmer than Pup. Pup is a little bit more cool. Okay, the next color is unlike anything else we have, and I know it's gonna be a little bit scary, but let me tell you, I was a little scared of it too at the beginning. And then when I wore it, I was like, wow, this color is a power color. If you have blue eyes, you're gonna love it. This is Cider. Okay, this is almost like, it's not as like bold as Leo, which is the bright orange color. Okay, it's just almost like Tropicana in an eyeshadow form. It's super wearable, especially paired with the right colors. It's almost, I consider this more that 2 to 3. I'd say this was more like in my medium category. It's a little bit darker than this, which is more like a 2. Okay, the next is 34th Street. Not sure what they're gonna read. This is like, I swear these last two are the creamiest mattes, if only that's if that made sense. They're so creamy the way they swatch. Okay, so this one's comparable to Mama, but like more pink, more pigmentation. It's like, I don't know if you can tell. This one so it's a little bit lighter. This is Mama. To me, if I wear Mama on the eyes, it just kind of blends in. I can't really see, but this one's got more pigmentation. It's a touch lighter. I would say this is probably, again, in that kind of 3 category with Cider, but super pretty shade. It could be 2 or 3. Okay, and last but not least, you guys have seen me use this color a ton. My favorite of the whole bunch, Figgy Pudding. I can't wait to see what this one's gonna be named. Because it's gonna be, I mean, I don't know if it'll take my fave over Bubba, but it is like the perfect mixture. I don't know. I think it's just the tone. It's warm, but it's not super warm. If you can compare it, this one is Sleigh Ride. So this one's got more of that gray, purpley, cool tone. This one's a touch warmer. But if you look at it, it's not super warm. You know, if you were going to compare that to Bubba, okay? Bubba looks so light next to it. So light. So I feel like it's got kind of the same tones as Bubba, but it's a little bit deeper and darker to where I can use it similar to how I use Oak. I can use it in my crease or on the outer corner for depth. And it's that nice transition color that I love so much. It can be worn lightly or darker, but it's not necessarily a deep dark shade. I would consider that one more 4, I'd say it's like 4.5. That one's a 4.5, like Oak. This one, 2. You can tell these ones are deeper, darker. Those, oh, they can be worn lighter. So pretty. Okay, there you go. That is the infamous 12 that's gonna be coming out. So I wanna show you guys what's gonna come in each collection. I probably should have done these together so you guys could see. First collection, so these are all based on Stargazing, okay, is Moon. So these are the shimmery shades. We've got Frankincense, Sugar Plum, Gold, and Tinsel. Okay, Frankincense, Sugar Plum, Gold, Tinsel. That is the first collection. That is Moon. Can you tell why? My personal favorite collection. These are so my colors. This is Sleigh Ride, Chestnut, Evergreen, and Figgy Pudding. Are those not like the prettiest? That is Earth. Can you see why? Those are so pretty. I feel like these are those staple shades. They'll look good with anything. You can pair these with any other shades. They will look beautiful, I promise, because they are neutral. They are earth colors. And then probably the prettiest collection, but probably the more intimidating of all of them would be the Sun collection. Okay, so that is Cider, 34th Street, Pomegranate, and Noel. But how pretty are those together? Oh, so pretty. So pretty. Gosh, love our eyeshadows. Love them. So that is all the deets on the colors that are coming on July 20th. Now, let's do an eye look, and I'm gonna show you guys. Let's see how many I can possibly use in one tutorial. I don't know. We're gonna try it just for fun. Stay tuned if you are following me over on Instagram. You guys know I love me a good eyeshadow look. I'm gonna try to do looks leading up to the launch so that you guys can see how you can do. And you get the Stargazing one. I feel like this can be a little intimidating when there's so many colors. So use that graphic of how I categorize each shade and remember kind of placement. I have old videos I can link down below showing you kind of the paint by numbers routine of how to build an eyeshadow look, knowing kind of what category it's in. Super easy once you practice. So let's go for it. You guys know me. I've already used my eyeshadow primer. I've evened out my eyelids with my highlights, and I've powdered, got a nice base. I got my full face done, even my brows. So I just gotta finish up the eyes. First up is the eyeshadow brush, and considering it's probably my very favorite, I would say for a mid-tone matte, I would say either go with Sleigh Ride, okay, Sleigh Ride's here, or Figgy Pudding. So I'm going to go with Figgy Pudding. It's my favorite. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and put that in the crease up above the hood, okay? I'm gonna do it a little bit messy so I can show you how to blend it out with one of the other shades. See how pretty that tone is, okay? Even if it's not even yet, it's so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit, let's go ahead and just put Sleigh Ride, just a little different, on the lower lash line. So you guys can see both. Okay, but obviously you can use Figgy Pudding down there if you like a little bit more warmth under your eyes. Okay, so I'm gonna use this shadow switcher, kind of get off the excess. Now I'm gonna kind of blend because I feel not blended whatsoever. Same brush, but we're gonna go into Chestnut, which is that beautiful, just light skin colored. Okay, I'm gonna kind of blend this out so I got no harsh lines right there. I'm gonna blend around the perimeter really quickly and easily. If you get too far out, okay, just blur those lines. Can you tell the difference? Now, depending on your skin tone, obviously, these colors can vary a little bit. Like Chestnut could be a mid-tone matte on your eyes if you have lighter skin tone than I am. If you are more fair, then, you know, you kind of have to adjust your scale. Okay, there we go. So we got a little Figgy Pudding, Chestnut, Sleigh Ride. We've already used 3. I'm gonna try to use as many as possible. So I don't want you guys to be scared. We're gonna go ahead and we are literally going to try Cider and 34th Street on the lid. So if you remember swatching it, this one tends to pull a little bit lighter, so we're gonna keep that towards the inner corner of the eye. We're gonna put Cider on. It looks so pretty on the brush. We're just gonna tap off excess. We're gonna kind of just press that on with the smudge brush, the like outer half of the eye. You see how pretty that is? It doesn't look crazy bright on the eye, and we'll tone it down with other colors. But if you have blue eyes and you like Leo, I promise you're gonna love that shade. Isn't that pretty? Okay, now I'm gonna use same brush. I'm gonna switch it out, and I'm gonna use a little bit of 34th Street just on that inner corner of just the lid. I'm just gonna press that on. You can tell it kind of added a little bit of light, but my lids are totally matte now. So you could finish right there. Super easy, using a little bit of color, but my eyes are all matte, okay? That's all matte, no shimmer, okay? If you wanted to add a touch of shimmer, we can go ahead and brighten that tear duct. I'm going to use a more precise brush because like I said before, this color has fallout. And in fact, I'm going to use a little bit of glitter primer, which I know sounds kind of crazy. It's not a glitter, but it is super shimmery. So I'm just gonna take a little bit on the end of my brush, and I'm gonna put a little bit, I'm gonna steer clear of the lower part of, like I'm not using this whole thing. I'm just gonna put like a little dot, then I'm gonna wipe off excess, okay? And then I'm gonna kind of move that around just on that inner tear duct, the flattest part of my tear duct, not on the lower lash line, if you have mature eyes like I do, okay? I'm gonna wipe off my brush, and then I'm gonna dip into Frankincense, okay? This one is very bright. If you are scared of it, try gold or sugar plum, but I wanna show you guys this one, okay? So I'm just gonna pick up, you can tell when you kind of dip into it that it almost comes off like very chunky. Do you see that? Okay, don't go to your eye with that much, okay? You just wanna barely dip in and kind of build up. And then you can tell it's more, it's not a glitter, I wish you guys could see what I mean. Do you see that? It's not a glitter, but it is not a very finely milled. It's just different. I don't feel like many of our shades are this formula, so I don't want you guys to be surprised. Okay, so you can kind of press it on and concentrate that shimmer. Do you see how I made sure it stayed right where I put it? Okay, same thing on the other eye, only where I touch, where I have that sticky primer, so it'll stick and I won't have any fallout. Show you guys, because I don't want to have to put up glitter primer right there. I'm just gonna show you guys, same brush, small end of the multitasker, and I'm gonna use gold this time underneath my brows. Now, I'm just gonna concentrate at the highest point of my brow, right there. You see how much more subtle that is? You guys know I like a subtle highlight under my brow, so that color I love. It's much more of that champagne. It's not so bright compared to Sabrina, but it still catches the light and lifts the brow. And you can even layer and put a little bit of gold over this. I mean, there's no rules, guys. You don't have to use even one of the eyeshadows there. You can use your illuminator. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and add some depth, and I've gotta decide which one. This is hard. So I love both these shades so much. But since I've got some like pink, I'm gonna kind of keep it a little bit more on the less red side. If I didn't put both of these on my lid already, if I would have stuck kind of more in the neutral category, I think this would be really pretty. It's gorgeous. I will definitely show more looks with it. But since I went ahead and put those on the eye, I'm gonna go ahead and stick with, which one is this? Noel, okay? And this one's gonna be my outer corner color. I'm gonna use the rounded end of the smudge brush. And this is a very deep shade. Okay, and I'm just gonna tap it right on that outer corner all the way up to my real crease and then into the crease slightly. Okay, another good color for that area would be Evergreen in the more cool side, but I think this one will look really pretty with the colors I've already used. You see how much drama that can give? Like, you can build this color up. Shoot, you can even add some of that pomegranate right there. I'm trying to not go crazy overboard so that you guys can see. I feel like those flow really good together. Okay, I'm gonna use a little bit on the lower lash line. Tie those together. Okay, what have we not used? Okay, we could either go with sugar plum or gold on the eye. Let's see. Let's try. We're gonna take a little bit of sugar plum. Told you guys I'm gonna try to use as much as possible. Just right on the inside corner. Again, where it's flat. I'm not gonna use much. I don't want to completely cover the Cider and 34th Street. So I'm just gonna kind of bring that up right there. A little bit of light reflection. I'm really gonna get the shimmer on the lid with gold, which is, like I said, one of my faves. Nice and neutral. I'm just gonna use my finger. I'm gonna pop it right on the ball of my eyelid. Okay, this color can be as subtle, like you can barely see it right there, or as pigmented as you want. I'd say out of all the shimmers, besides Tinsel, it's probably the most subdued. And I love it layered over anything because it just kind of adds a little bit of light without changing the color too much. You guys know my favorite chameleon shades like Tawanda that does the same thing. Okay, I'm just gonna press it right in the center of the lid so it kind of catches that light. So I think I've used almost everything. I didn't use Evergreen and I didn't use Tinsel and I didn't use Pomegranate, but I'm like really tempted to just throw a little bit right here. Can you guys tell? Like just the slightest touch. Kind of adds that warmth. Okay, and then step away. Brushes down. Okay, so when I do a more intense eye, I always feel like my lashes get lost in the process. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my Black Friday eyeliner and set that and then put on a little mascara. And then we should be all done. All right, friends. There we go. There is as many shades as I could possibly do in an eye look. I'll show you the after as well. You guys are as excited as I am about these colors finally coming out. And I hope that video was helpful so that you can compare and see which ones you want to all be available individually, of course, as well. And then the rest of the 25 will be released later this year. If you have any questions, as always, drop them in the comments below. If you need a color match for Seint's 3D foundation so that you can pick up your eyeshadows at the same time, my color match request is in the drop box below the video, as always, and I'd be happy to help you out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I love you. Bye.